Me now, the AFCW head coach Mark Robinson. Another good session out there on the training pitch today, Robbo.
Yeah, the lads have been really good, really bright. We've changed things a little bit recently. It's things that I've wanted to do. Maybe I went away from a little bit. We got off to a good start, and you all have to reflect on what you're doing. And sometimes you just get into habits of doing things, and it's stuff that I believe in, that I promised myself I was always going to do if I got in this position. And I've introduced it sort of the back end of last week, and it takes a bit of changing for some of the lads because they've been doing the same thing for a long time. But now they're starting to buy into it, and the sessions have been excellent.
This past fortnight in general, I mean, you've been able to put it to maximum use, yeah?
Yeah, and as I said, it takes time because you're getting people to think in a different way. Especially people who have been told for a long time what to do. Just being told. Now you're getting them to think more, come up with solutions for different scenarios, and I think everyone's enjoying it. The coaches are enjoying it more. So it's just about that solution-based thinking, so that over time you can react to various different situations, and the more you do of this kind of training, just the more empowered you feel as a person, and it just leads to more and more confidence. So nothing's like anything, nothing happens overnight. But as I said, the key thing is the players are buying into it, and they're really enjoying the sessions, and they're coming in and they're thinking every day.
We saw it towards the end of last season. How much closer are we with this group to getting them to taking ownership again, where you're just like watching from the side, basically? They take on the responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit different last year, Rob, to be honest, because I think all the academy staff were a bit worried when I got the job, because historically any youth team I've coached are always really poor for the first 10 games in terms of results, not in performance, because I overload them with information, and and Michael and that were coming up to me and going, well, what are you going to do, because your teams historically start badly and then end up only losing one of their last 24 or something. So I had to coach more when I got the job, especially off the ball. It was more prescriptive coaching, but I still don't believe that kind of coaching has any long-term success. I don't think it brings long-term success because, as I said, football changes, the pitches on the pitch change all the time, and you have to react to different situations. You saw that against Burton, where they totally changed their style of play. So it's not something I was a believer in, but it was needs must last year in terms of some of the coaching, although I tried to add other things off the pitch in terms of taking more ownership, which worked. And this year I promised myself, I was going to ramp that up, and I think possibly because we got off to a good start, I wasn't true to myself in terms of what I really believe education is. And we sort of reverted back to that, having this 2-week spell always give us that window to start introducing it, because as I said, it's very different to some players, not the younger lads that have been here, they know about it. So that's what we've done, and as I said, there's been a real good response from the lads.
Focusing on Saturday, Sheffield Wednesday, and we've seen it with other clubs, with Sunderland, with Ipswich, in the build-up, obviously, we're going to be respectful about them, but same objective for us as it is for them. We're a club that's looking to get into the second tier of English football.
Yeah, so we've again, and it's all a bit about how we impose our style on them. We know they've got good players, etc., but we need to really go and impose our style, and I think there's only possibly, apart from the Rotherham game, we've tried to do that, although there's been things that haven't been good enough in certain areas, and we've just always got to do that. We've got to go and impose our style. As I said, that's the only way we're going to grow.
They're just outside the playoff area as it is at the moment, very early days still, but what sort of strengths do they possess?
Well, as I said, they're organised. They don't. They're not a side that kind of loses heavily or anything like that. Very well organised. Obviously, any Darren Moore side try to play, and as I said, they've got some really good individuals. So we need to be aware of that and make sure that collectively we're strong, and we give ourselves a framework to work off where our individuals can come to the forefront as well.
Darren Moore, you've spoken about him in the past as well, a coach that you're very respectful of and get on well with, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, Bezo introduced him to me when I was kind of in the first team, around the first team setup, and he introduced Darren to me and said, oh, you'll like him, and we had a really good chat after one game, and yeah, he's a great guy, and one of those managers who was just happy to share his thoughts and that, so yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting him again on Saturday.
In terms of international duty this week, everybody come back fit from that?
Yeah, they have. We've had some injury problems. They happen like that, but no, the lads who have come back are fine. But obviously we've had the Wills news. Also George Marsh has broke a bone in his foot, so unfortunately George is going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. He was just in a challenge. Ollie's had a little bit of a setback, so Ollie could be another 3 weeks now, 3-4 weeks. So we've had a few setbacks. Nestor had a kick, but we think he's okay. Prez, again, he trained, he was modified today, so he should be okay. And then we've had Luke, who was ill. So Luke was ill, but Luke back, and he was modified training today. So we just need to see how he was, because he wasn't COVID, he just had a fever and stuff. But as I said, you know, these things. I like a bit of adversity. It brings people together, and we'll be ready to go no matter what personnel we've got ready and fit. We'll be ready to go on Saturday.
So Luke and Aaron, there's more of a chance of them being able to be involved, do you think?
Yeah, Aaron, unless something happens tomorrow, he'll definitely be involved in some way, and Luke again in some way, again unless he goes home tonight and he feels worse again, but he got through the modified training okay. But no, so and Nest, as I said, he was modified. But again, we think he's just bruising, so he should be fine as well.
A lot, obviously, will focus on somebody like Dapo Mabude as well. He's come back from international duty, so
yeah.
He'll be a key player for you as well, I guess.
Yeah, and Daps has come back. You know, I gave him a few things to think about when he went away, and he's come back and he's trained really, really well. As have all the boys. You know, all the boys have been excellent. So I said we're really looking forward to Saturday.
Has it given you the opportunity over the past fortnight as well to have a bit of a catch up with some of the loan players as well? Go and see them and have a chat with them as well, yeah, a little bit more.
Yeah, and it's been nice. I'm just about to do and go and have a chat with all the under 18s today, just see how they are, because they're back at that stage now where they're going to college, you know, twice a week, and I know what effect that can have on them. And they come over and train with us today. Some of them, you know, a couple of lads saying, oh, they felt a bit tired. So I just want to have a little chat with them, because that's part of their development is that adapting to that next level. So I'm just going to have a little chat with those lads, and it's been good, because those little conversations are important, not just with the first team boys, but with everyone at the club, staff, players, everyone, because you know that's that attachment we got to have amongst each other, because that's what's going to drive us forward in the future.
Just finally, in terms of Saturday as well, I mean, Sheffield Wednesday, we resumed the season again, really, you know, after a bit of a break from the action, but can you see that within the lads as well, that, you know, to get back out there and take that responsibility, you know, it's on our patch to get back out there and assert ourselves out there?
Yeah, and I just, it's more, Robert, just, you know, where we're heading with everything that we're trying to do. So, you know, it's great to always be back at Plough Lane, it's great to play a club like Sheffield Wednesday, but that's not where I want it to be. I just want it to be, it's great to play football, it's great to play for this football club. These are the levels that we have to aim to reach every single game, you know, so I don't want those extrinsic motivation of it's Sheffield Wednesday and that extrinsic motivation of it's Plough Lane, you know, wherever we're going, whether it's in front of 800 people or 18,000 people, I want it to become, this is just us, and this is how we behave, and this is how we aim to perform every single game.
Brilliant, thanks for your time, Robbo.
Cheers, Rob, thank you.